So, you need a car, but your wallet is looking kinda sad. Well, maybe your old beater just gave up, or you're just tired of bumming your mom's best friend's ride. Either way, you need something cheap that's gonna keep you on the road and out of the repair shop. So today, I've got just the thing. 10 incredible, ideal, cheap, and incredibly reliable cars that anyone can pick up. Starting with, okay, we're kicking off this list with a Mitsubishi Galant, a car that most people completely forgot even existed. Seriously, when was the last time you heard someone saying, hey man, check out my sick Galant? Exactly, never. And that's precisely why this car is a steal. Mitsubishi made the 9th generation Galant from 2004 to 2012. And while it never became a bestseller, it actually is a super solid midsize sedan. Under the hood, you get a 2.4 liter 4-cylinder engine that delivers decent power, good fuel economy, and rock solid reliability. The 4-speed automatic, well, it's simple and it's smooth. None of that jerky, unreliable nonsense you get from CVTs. Plus, maintenance is dirt cheap because parts are easy to find and don't cost an arm and a leg. So, why is it so cheap? Well, simply, nobody remembers it. Everyone looking for a used sedan flocks to a Honda Accord or Toyota Camry, which drives their prices up. The Galant, it's just chilling in the background, waiting for someone like you that's smart to snatch it up. The downsides, well, parts might be a little harder to find because Mitsubishi isn't as common as Toyota or Honda. But if you want a budget-friendly, reliable sedan that nobody else is thinking about, this is it. And check out this one we found for under 6K with pretty low miles. We've linked to all these ideal cheap rides down in the pinned first comment below, so go check them out and see how cheap you can actually get them. Next, so if you're looking for a fuel-efficient, reliable hybrid, but every Toyota Prius in your price range looks like it's been in 14 accidents and lived a super hard life as an Uber, well, enter the Mercury Milan Hybrid. I know. Grandpa, he drove this thing. Yep, and that's exactly why it is a bargain. You see, the Mercury Milan Hybrid is just a rebadged Ford Fusion Hybrid. Same 2.5 liter engine, same electric motor, same smooth ride, just with a different name on the frunk, or on the trunk. But because it is a Mercury, nobody wants it. The result, prices are way lower than anything else out there, especially the Ford Fusion Hybrid, even though it's literally the same exact car. I mean, this thing just sips gas like you sip tea, 38 to 41 miles per gallon, which means fewer trips to the gas station and more money in your pocket. It's also stupidly reliable, with many owners easily hitting 200,000 miles with basic maintenance. Parts literally everywhere. Since it's a Ford under the hood, you won't have to sell a kidney to keep it running. This one we found is a mint, and it's only $3,600. Now that is an ideal steal. Okay, let's talk about one of the biggest hacks in the used car market, period. And well, now the cat's out of the bag because it is the Pontiac Vibe. Go buy one like yesterday. The next best time is like right now because the market on these things, well, it's not really actually a Pontiac. And didn't they go out of business like 15 years ago? Yeah, you're absolutely right, but that's actually a good thing. See, this car was built in partnership between Toyota and GM, which means you're getting Toyota reliability, but with Pontiac prices. Under the hood, you'll find Toyota's 1.8 4-cylinder engine, the same one they used in the Corolla, meaning this thing is gonna run forever and ever and ever like the Energizer Bunny. It's also crazy fuel efficient, getting around 30 miles per gallon, and it's a hatchback, so you get way more cargo space than a regular sedan. And because it has a Pontiac badge, nobody really knows or cares what it is, but you will, and you'll get a slamming deal out of it. This '09 is listed for a tick under 4K. Go snag it before someone else does. Ford doesn't always have the best track record when it comes to reliability, but every once in a while, they hit a home run. The Ford Fusion Hybrid, absolute grand slam. As I said earlier, this is the same car as the Mercury we mentioned 2 cars ago, and they're both great cars and both really capable of hundreds of thousands of miles with no major issues. What makes the Fusion Hybrid so good is that people don't expect it to be reliable. Everyone just assumes Toyota owns the hybrid game, so Ford Fusion Hybrid? That flies under the radar. But that's just more for you and I suppose. We found this listing online for a 2014 model priced at under $6,500. All right, next up, the Toyota Matrix. The Toyota Matrix, well, it's basically a hatchback version of the Corolla, which means it's ridiculously reliable, insanely practical, and cheap to own. Toyota built these from 2003 to all the way to 2014, and if you are lucky, you can find a first-gen Matrix for under 5K. Under the hood, you get Toyota's legendary 1.8 liter 4-cylinder engine that easily lasts 300 to 500,000 miles if you change the oil and don't drive like your Dom Toretto. It also gets 30 plus miles per gallon, which is great if you're trying to stretch every dollar at the gas pump. But here is the kicker. This car actually has all-wheel drive options. Yeah, that's super rare for a cheap, reliable hatchback. If you live somewhere snowy, the all-wheel drive Matrix is an absolute game changer. It's pretty much a cheap snowmobile. Also, parts are dirt cheap because, well, it shares everything with the Corolla. And that's literally never been a bad thing to say about your car. Here's one we found for less than 4,500 bucks. Aha. We are into the Honda Element, one that I owned for about 5 years and absolutely loved it. It's one of those cars that makes absolutely no sense on paper, yet somehow, some way, it is a total cult classic. It's part SUV, part minivan, part weird toaster looking thing, and people freaking love it. Heck, it was Dog Car of the Year in like 2007. Why? Because it's built to last forever. Honda gave the Element its famous K24 engine, which means you're getting the same power plant that drives the Honda Accord and CR-V. This thing is basically indestructible. Ask me how I know. I owned one forever, and it still is on the road today. I mean, mine had over 250,000 miles, but I've seen other Element owners in their Element with 300,000 miles plus, and just keep on going. But what really makes the Element special is how insanely practical it is. The seats fold up to the sides, giving you a huge cargo area, and the floor is literally washable. You can just hose it down. It was designed for campers, adventurers, and dog lovers, and if that's your vibe, it is an ideal car. It's also got high ground clearance, so you can take it on dirt roads without worrying about scraping the bottom. And yes, it is boxy. The doors are funky, and it's definitely not a cool car in the traditional sense, but if you want a bulletproof, practical, quirky car that can handle anything you throw at it, the Element is in its own element. This Green Goblin is listed for under $6K on the internet right now. Go find it via the Auto Tempest link in the first pinned comment. All right, so most of the cars on this list have been super practical, super reliable, and well, kind of boring. But what if we wanted something fun? Something that doesn't make you feel like a grandpa driving to bingo night? That's where the Mazda 3 comes in. This car actually has personality. It's got sporty handling, a well-designed interior, and a driving experience that's way more fun than a Corolla or Civic. The first gen Mazda 3 is my personal favorite, which was built from 2004 to 2009, and that was a game changer for compact cars. It was affordable, practical, and genuinely enjoyable to drive. For maximum reliability, you want the 2-liter non-turbo engine. It's super reliable and doesn't have the oil consumption issues that the larger 2.3-liter engine had. Another bonus, these things are cheap to modify. If you ever wanted to mess around with the aftermarket upgrades, well, the Mazda 3 has a ton of support in the car community. And if you have a little extra cash and really want a fun car, get the Mazda Speed version of this car. 260 horsepower, bro. We found this 2010 Mazda 3 for $5,995. Buy here, pay here. And next up is, well, at this point, the Honda Accord needs no introduction. And if you got 5,000 bucks to spend, you can snag a 2006 to 2007 Accord, which is one of the best used sedans money can buy. This generation came with Honda's legendary K24 2.4-liter 4-cylinder engine, which means you are getting a car that's easily gonna hit 300,000 miles plus if you treat it right. And as a bonus, it uses a timing chain instead of a belt, so less maintenance to worry about. It's also super comfortable with a roomy interior, a smooth ride, and a reputation for being the perfect daily driver. Seriously, Uber drivers still use these things because they just don't die. Bottom line, if you want what is possibly the best daily of all time, here it is. Yes, sir, this '09 Accord just listed for just 5,200 bucks. The next one is in the same vein as the Accord, the Toyota Corolla. It truly is the ultimate get me from point A to point Z car reliably. These things are stupidly reliable, like it'll outlive you and your grandkids reliable. The 2005 model in particular is a prime choice since it has Toyota's rock-solid 1.8-liter engine, a simple 4-speed automatic or 5-speed manual, and no weird high-tech nonsense that can break. Fuel economy, 30 plus miles per gallon. Maintenance, cheap and easy. You can probably do it yourself. Lifespan, 300,000+ miles is totally doable. It can actually be a fun car too if you get one with a manual, and parts are cheap if you're looking to upgrade literally anything. At the end of the day, the Corolla is whatever you want it to be, and then some. And holy shit, this one's listed for $2,995 Okay, I'm gonna go buy that. I'll be right back. And now for the most surprising pick on this list, this ideal list, the Lexus ES. What? Wait, yeah, a Lexus for under 5K? Yeah, that's no secret. It is basically a fancy Toyota Camry. The 2004 to 2006 Lexus ES comes with a 3.3 liter V6 engine, a super smooth ride, and an interior that feels way more high-end than anything else in this price range. It shares so many parts with the Toyota Camry that you couldn't have trouble fixing this car if you tried. And for everyday drivers, the miles per gallon is pretty decent for an old car. Boom, here's an ES300 listed for sale for about $2,700. So those are the 10 best cheap cars you can buy when you're broke or rather inconveniently low on money. Which one do you want in your driveway or parked on the street? You let us know down below in the comments. I'll be hanging out there, so I want to see what you say. The good, the bad, the ugly. And if you enjoyed this vid, like, subscribe, turn on that notification bell. Check out these Ideal vids over here. I'm Brad. This is Ideal. We'll see you next week, and promise me one thing. Keep living the ideal lifestyle.